Hi viewers, this is Guest with Nazir. Today we are honored. Our honorable guest is a businesswoman and at the same time, she's a lawyer. Welcome, Natalia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Please tell our viewers about your early education and how many languages you can speak.
I grew up in Colombia, so yeah, I speak Spanish and try to speak English, so 2 languages. And yeah, I grew up in Colombia. That's all my childhood there. I lived for a little bit in Ecuador and then moved here in my later life.
So when we talk about the educational system, what difference you find between English education system and in Colombia?
That's an interesting question. I think in Colombia we learn more from the teacher, and we take in all what the teacher is saying, and we take a little bit more as truth, really, and we don't have that critical aspect that at least in university education you learn to do here, be more critical, try to reference everything you write. In Colombia it's more a little bit by the book. So I found that quite challenging at the beginning when I did my master's here, but at the same time it's really interesting. You learn more.
So in Colombia, so first of all you have to complete your graduation and then you do the LLB, or what stage you complete LLB?
No, you do primary, secondary for 11 years, and then 5 years university degree. So it's different. You don't do GCSEs or A-levels. You go straight from secondary to university, and it's 5 years rather than 3 years. So yeah.
So when our youngsters enter into profession here in United Kingdom, they do graduation, then they do LPC, and they enter into apprenticeship. It's called trainee solicitorship. So what is the difference between Colombia and here? So how the solicitors works there, how the system works?
Well, we don't have the system of solicitors and barristers. We all become lawyers after 5 years of education. So it's called a law degree, and you learn all aspects of law. And the last 2 years are practical years, but you still go to university, and then you do practice as a legal aid lawyer for 2 years. And then you do like a state exam, and then you become a lawyer. You can practice in court as well. You don't divide between solicitors and...
So it means you follow a totally different system there?
Yeah, I did.
And in the court proceedings, how many languages they use?
Only Spanish.
And if we compare the county court, magistrate court, so we have a similar courts in the Colombia, or they have a totally different system?
We have different systems. We have, I did all my training specializing in criminal law, so our criminal system is a bit more like the US, but we don't have a jury, so it's just a judge, and we have we don't have like magistrate courts and then a crown court. We only have 3 kind of degrees of instances in court. So one like for minor crimes, or if it's civil law for small disputes, and then the second instance, and then the tribunal where the magistrates are. So in Colombia, magistrates are like higher profile than the judges, which is quite
So it means they
strange.
have more power than magistrate here?
Yeah, they are like the tribunal, which at the end have the final decision. They are the final instance in the process. So yeah, it's a bit different.
Natalia, when we talk about the cross-jurisdiction, we have a different system here and system different in Colombia. So how the both system can learn from each other? If you want to take few qualities of British legal system to Colombia, and if you want to bring some qualities from Colombia to British system, so what changes you will bring across the countries?
I think because we have an adversarial system in Colombia, we have like a judge which is impartial and finally have made the decision, or is the one who makes the decision. Whereas here you have the jury, which is more interactive with the community. You have a little bit more involvement of the community in the judicial system. I don't know where to position myself in that, because sometimes I feel that the judge has been very prepared to understand and to don't have much prejudice when taking a decision, whereas sometimes the jury, I feel that sometimes could be a bit biased or influenced by their own prejudice. So I'm not really sure what, maybe a combination of both. I can't really kind of say the ideal. They are just very different.
When we talk about the jury, so jury does not have the discretion about the evidence or admissibility of the evidence. They only decide whether guilty or non-guilty. But mostly question of law is decided by the judges.
Yes, but at the end, well, I applied to be a magistrate here myself in England. I found the process really, really challenging, and I really love the idea of having the community involved in being magistrates. At the end, magistrates take decisions as well, take decisions related to many things in the courtroom. The jury, even though they don't have the decision in the legal admission of the evidence and stuff like that, but anyway, they have quite a lot of power on deciding at the end, and I'm not really sure of the detachment, you know, I'm not quite sure if that's the answer.
I see. So that's too technical, I can understand that. So at what age you decided that you were going to join the legal profession?
Oh, well, I think I always been an entrepreneur myself, but I kind of, when it came to going to university, I didn't kind of realized that I will be an entrepreneur in later life. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna do something to help people and to be more, to bring social justice and I started kind of thinking that, but that was just at the end of my degree, really. It's not that I always grow up thinking I'm gonna be a lawyer. Have
you done any free legal advice clinics in Colombia or any experience of this?
Yeah, I worked my 2 years for the graduation, like the practice I did as a legal aid lawyer, you know, doing like free legal advice to people. And then I went into working in a criminal court, like a second instance. So we will take cases of homicide or drug trafficking, rape. It was quite challenging, and I worked as the court clerk in that court, and I really, really enjoyed it. That was just before I decided to move to the UK.
So now a businesswoman and a lawyer. So which one is heavier now? So you find it, so which one you like more? Because you decide in your life, you know, you say, oh, wow, this is the two different tastes of two different professions. So business is good or lawyership is good? So which one you picked up?
Oh, I love both. And I also did another degree in forensics, and I love that as well. But I think after I found myself that I am really an entrepreneur inside, and a lot of the things that I learned at university, all the experience that I had, really helped me to understand the bigger picture of my business and the reason why I'm doing it. And it just goes hand in hand, and it's always handy to be a lawyer when you are managing a business, isn't it?
So what is your recommendation for the young entrepreneur who wants to launch their business? So what things they should do to launch a product and how they should advertise? So what are your tips for them?
My tips, I really follow something, a book that I read. It's called The Lean Startup. And what it says is that you should always listen to feedback and listen and learn and be flexible enough to change. So when you are starting a business, just don't focus on just thinking this is my idea and everybody will love that and spend lots of time developing that. And then when you launch it, nobody wants it. It's better if you take it slowly, launch even if it's not quite ready, because it's always gonna be oh, it's not ready yet, but just try it, get feedback, and then change if you need to change, or decide, okay, I'm going to do something completely different. So that's my advice. Don't go with your first idea. Just be willing to listen and to change. That's very important.
How you find in business advertisement the social media, because at the moment it's a very strong mode of the advertisement, and it has taken even with the mainstream media.
Yeah, it's a really important tool for business like myself, and you see it all the time. It's incredible the amount of people that you can reach, the targeting that you can achieve. You know, if you have a very decided and very specific target audience, you can, you know, use these tools to reach the people that you want to be talking to. But at the same time, you are in the risk of being like in an echo chamber. So you only talk to people that agrees with you, the people that, you know, so to overcome that and go beyond, sometimes you have to pay a little bit, because they are, at the end of the day, they are a business as well. So it's kind of trying to manage it right, and also being genuine and being very personal. There are things that, you know, many years ago you wouldn't even consider that a company being personal and you know, giving you insights will do so well, but now it's just a great opportunity.
So if we will say life in Sheffield and life in Colombia, where you have a childhood, where you find more friends and more flexibility, and you like, you follow what I mean? So you like much more than that.
Well, definitely like more the weather in Colombia.
Right.
But I think I have made...
Do you miss the weather? Because I believe...
I miss the weather a lot. I still find it quite difficult. However, in Colombia, we don't have seasons. So all year round is pretty much the same. So even though I find it here quite cold, I like the fact that it changes, and it's like living in a different city every, you know, 4 times of the year, which is really, really cool. I miss my family a lot, but at the same time, I have my life here, and I really enjoy and love Sheffield, and I don't
Natalia,
want to...
a lot of entrepreneurs are, you know, launching their products, and these products are coming from the different parts of the world. And there is a lot of stress on the fair trade. So how strongly they implement fair trade in Colombia, and is there any need for improvements?
Okay, well, it's always room for improvement. The problem with fair trade, it's a great thing, you know, to guarantee that people get paid right. I trade directly with the farmers, so, you know, making sure that everybody gets the money that they deserve. But sometimes I find that with certifications like that, no fair trade specifically, but for example, the organic certification is causing me a lot of problems, and the farmers that I work with, because they are very small and they don't have the resources to get these certifications to have a stamp on their product. So even though I trade directly with them, even though they are organic itself, because panela doesn't use chemicals or additives, it's completely natural, they can't be organic because they don't have the money to pay for the certification. And because people in Europe and in the rest of the world, of course they're going to look for the certification, because it's like a reassurance.
Very important,
yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm having this situation where the factories that produce the certified organic and are the bigger factory, and I want to have an impact on the small panela.
So what is the meaning
producers.
of your, you know, the product, and what is the meaning in English? Because we know you have picked up this word of your product from your own country, but what is the meaning in English here?
So panela, it's a product itself in Colombia. That's the name. It's like we have sugar and we have panela, and we call it, sugar is azúcar, panela is panela. So I brought it with the same name. To translate that into English, I have done lots of work. I have asked people. I started saying alternative to sugar, but I had problems explaining to people why. Then I say unprocessed sugar, but because it goes under a dehydrating process. Anyway, I came out with dried sugarcane juice, because it's only the juice from the sugarcane dehydrated, or taking the water out. That's it.
So there is no chemical involvement in it, so it's very simple, dried juice of sugarcane.
Yes, it's only that, and it's made in a farm, really artisan, no chemicals, no additives. even white sugar has bone char when they produce it, so it's bones from animals, and people still have it even if they are vegetarians. So I'm trying to do a lot of work to encourage people to actually Google it, research, and if you are vegetarian...
But there's a lot of information in social media and in the internet is not correct. But obviously, there will be some experts who can clarify that.
Yeah.
We wish we have a long time. Now we're coming to the corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
Every entrepreneur, when they earn the money, they make the money out of their business. Do you reinvest this money back to schools, back to the farmers, or to improve their lives, or to their working conditions?
Well, that's my final aim. If I, when the business is successful, that's what I have in mind. For me, I have been doing lots of work with the schools and with the University of Sheffield, with teachers professors from accountancy. And my idea is that in the accountancy that we know traditionally, we always look only figures, we look at profits and turnover. But for me, my metrics in my business are different, and the problem is because it's not quantifiable, it's difficult to tell people my metrics are social impact, local engagement, what positive impact we are having on these producers, what is the sustainability of this product. All these kind of things that are not quantifiable are quite difficult to measure, but they are really important. But I am aware that I have to grow the business to the point that has enough money to be able to have the impact that I want to have. That's why I'm not very precious with Panela, and I don't feel like I'm the only one who can actually bring it to Europe. I want everybody to bring it if possible. The more competition, the better, and the more demand, the more impact.
Do you support any local charity here in Sheffield?
I don't have any charities that I support at the moment, unfortunately, because the business have to be, having enough.
But there are certain ways you can help them. Even let's say if you are tweeting or you are putting on your social media specific charity who's working for to minimize the griefs and the difficulties of the people, that is also help.
Well, yeah, it's something to look at, definitely. Yeah, it will be great.
And what is your message for our viewers who are watching you today?
The message for the viewers, like for entrepreneur viewers, even if you come from a different country, even if you are just thinking about setting up a business or just only have an idea, I always encourage people just to explore it a bit more, ask, and just be open about it. And always encourage people to stay in Sheffield. People tend to go somewhere else for opportunities, and I understand it could be quite challenging sometimes, but Sheffield is a great city and it has a lot to offer, so we need to stay here to be able to make it grow.
Natalia, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Viewers, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have done something amazing for the community, you can contact our team. Our email is on your screen. Keep watching Sheffield Live. Thank you.